Good morning and good afternoon to the rest of the world. Welcome to our first episode of 2021 and our 32nd episode in all, the weekly virtual Big B Meetup. Big B Meetup was founded in 2018, and since April 2020, we took it to the virtual world. It is inspired by the people of Qatar, both local and expatriate, and dedicated to my mother. It aims to inform, to educate, to inspire, and bring communities together. As we begin the year 2021, we have curated a bespoke sports series working towards celebrating Qatar National Sports Day, which is held on every second Tuesday of February. Thus, our guests today are two amazing Qatari athletes and more, Rashed Al Hajri and Saud Shafia. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, boss. Thank you.
So, Saud, let me start with you, and if you could introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, thank you so much, Mr. Bosco, for hosting us both, me and my dear friend Rashid Al Hadri, on this big meetup show that I really like. I also checked for the last 2 weeks. I find it super special and very entertaining, as well as very informative for the all audiences to be, to be here attending and watching us talking about sportsmanship and celebrating this occasion. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Saud Shafi, and professionally, academically, I'm an electrical engineer, graduated from Qatar University. But at the same time, I am a pro athlete and a volleyballer, which is, I've been playing volleyball in Al Arabi Sports Club for, I think, 16 years so far.
Yeah.
And I am also a social media influencer who create content in the fields of sports, society, education, and culture as well. And recently, I became an international media presenter, mainly in the sports field.
Wow, mashallah, that's fantastic. And all at a very young age, I must add. Yeah, moving on to Rashid. Rashid, would you like to please introduce yourself to our guests,
Yeah,
our viewers?
yeah. I'm just echoing what Saud just mentioned. So hi everyone, and to the rest of the world. Maybe I feel privileged because it's virtual, so there's no excuse. Everyone can watch us.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Rashid Al Hajri. I am chemical engineer by background. I start playing judo since I was 14 years old, and I made it all the way to the national team, represented the team
Wow.
in regional competition, and then I moved to running and started running a marathon. I know last year been a really tough year for us, but I am blessed. I got my first baby daughter, so I am a dad, a marathoner, and engineer to sum it up.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Actually, I had that question for you. You already answered, but I'm going to get back there to you. Saud, so you are many things packed into one. You're a pro athlete. You're a voiceover artist, which I personally am very interested in. Honorary cultural ambassador, news anchor, and a volunteer for Reach Out to Asia, Rota, which I call it, and we do call it. So, can you start off with being how you're being a pro athlete with your volleyball, right? Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so to be honest with you, it's very surprising to me because at some points in my life, when I sit with myself and think about how am I doing all this at the same time, I'll be like, wow, this is really a blessed thing. It's for me, it's a miracle, to be honest, and I'm so happy to be able to do many things at the same time. It all began with 2006 when Qatar hosted the Asian Games. That time I was
Oh,
in grade six, and I was able to volunteer and to get myself, being exposed to the whole world. That occasion for Qatar was huge because that was the very first time for Qatar to be known to the world, and to be globally known. Ever since that day, I realized that we have great chances in Qatar to be participating in such events. At the same time, in my school during my studies, I had passion for sports in general. Like I used to play football, I used to play volleyball, basketball, handball, swimming, running, everything. But by time you find yourself being like kind of like familiar with a certain sport. And one of the teachers who saw me, playing volleyball like randomly, and he saw, hey, you got a great skills. And ever since 2006, I joined Al Arabi Sports Club to be, to become a volleyball player. And I found out that volleyball for me is a passion, to be honest. It's a game that makes me feel, happy, excited, especially that at that time we used to play volleyball from the same school. So I'm playing volleyball with my best friends. That was a very motivative thing for me to continue in this sports. Yeah.
How did you take up to volleyballing in the land of football, handball, and snooker? I mean, Qatar is passionate about football, and as I also grew up in Qatar, and Qatar had phenomenal football players, handball players,
True.
and snooker also. I remember snooker.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But the occasion about or the reason for me staying more and spending more time until today playing volleyball is that this specific game is a commutative thing. It's a commutative sport where you find different cultures, different nationalities who have this sport as a common thing to do. So for me, as a very social person who like to meet up with new people, get himself familiar with other cultures, I found out that there is some easiness to play volleyball in different places, and there is also there's like some sort of easiness to reach out to different people, unlike maybe football or maybe snooker or so. But that's how I look at volleyball. There's so much easiness and fun to meet up, with different kind of people from different cultures. That's why I'm like so dedicated and so in love with volleyball until today.
Well said, well said. So, Saud, what defines you as a sportsman? What would you say?
Okay, wow, that's a very tough question, to be honest. Especially that for the last, let's say, for the last 2 years, I've done so many things. But I would say something. I would say I'm a human being who is passionate about sports, taking this beautiful blessed from God, which is sport, to a whole new level, to inspire people all around the globe, to heal people, and to teach the humankind something new every single day. For me, this is how I look to sports. Sports is something very amazing, very interesting. It teaches us a lot. It teaches us, the hard work, the teamwork. It teaches how to be, how to be sustainable, how to be mentally strong to overcome your life challenges in general, as well as the personal stuff. So for me, sports is a lifestyle. It's really a lifestyle for me
Wow.
to live
Well,
with, to develop myself with. Yeah.
well said. You talk beyond your years. If I didn't see your face and we didn't have, if it was a podcast and not a vlog, we'd be thinking we are talking to a senior sportsman. But it's fantastic.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
really appreciate it. Thank
yeah.
you.
Talking of that, I want to move to Rashid. Rashid, I'm so impressed with you because as we said, you're a marathoner, you're a dad, yeah, a new dad, and an engineer. Yeah. But what I like about you is your goal. Your goal setting. Like for example, you just told me like 2 hours ago, hey, I'm gonna go for a run, and I'll be back, have a shower, and I'm gonna be here. I'm like, wow, this guy. It's the weekend. Somebody will be like, Alatul, just sit down, like, I shouldn't say shisha, but you know, I'm like, wow, this guy's gone for a run. So you're all upbeat, all power now. So how do you balance your roles, Rashid, as a three in one? I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, it's a good question and tough at the same time. It is all about priorities. So there is, okay, you have the work, you have the family, you have the social commitment. For those who haven't been here in Qatar or in GCC overall, the community is oriented around social life. So you should have time for your family, time for your friends, time for cousins. There's like the weddings, there's the dinner. So there's like many social events. So you need just to keep balance of everything. Work for sure. I mean, it is a priority. But the question is, when it comes to the training, you need to find a way, either at the beginning of the day or just before you go for a social event, whether it's a wedding or dinner, or just like this virtual, talk, or later on the evening. So this is my rule, if it is a priority, it will find itself in your schedule, I mean, by default. You don't need to think about it.
Very well said. You're absolutely right. Priorities. I'm learning so much from you guys, and it's only 10 minutes. So much prioritize. So many things. So, Rashid, when did you take up to marathoning? Was it? I mean, if I want to say, was it at Leeds? Running away from
No.
you?
Okay. So one thing here to clarify. So for a marathon, historically, marathon is a city, or call it a town in Greece. And the reason that they call it marathon, there was this, war between, let's say, between two armies. And at that time, one of the Greece army ran from Marathon City all the way to Athens just to tell them, hey, we won the war. And he unfortunately died. The distance that he ran, and this is what I want to clarify here, it is 42.2 kilometers. So, and sometimes this is what makes me upset when I hear someone, I'm going for 5K marathon. I said, guys, wait, marathon is way different from the 5K. 5K, it is, it is the start for anyone who wants to run. We all run. So anyone who wants to join the running society, I would say go for 3K, 5K, and start building up. And this is what happened to me. I start the 5K. I had like this goal. I said, okay, I want to run this time for the 5K. I made it. Then I said, let's do the 10K. I made it. Then I moved, just seeing like what is the next distance. Then the half marathon, which is 21K. Then I said, okay, the marathon. And for marathon, it is just a journey. I really just found myself in this distance. I really enjoyed it. Apart from it's being competitive and challenging, but it is, it reflects on your behavior and your manner in all aspects of your life. So for me, marathon, I started in 2017. I ran the first marathon, and that was during Uridu marathon. So this was my getaway when I started, and then I started taking it to international level. But yeah, my message here, guys, if you want to run a marathon, just make sure you take it step by step. Don't rush to run a marathon. You will be there at some point.
Yeah. Thank you for your message. Rashid, I have a question for you. I mean, I was going through your short bio that you sent me, and one thing that stood out was you have a beautiful goal. You want to be the first GCC national to run the 6 marathons. What are the 6 marathons? Hang on, sorry, you don't answer that for me. Let's put it out to the guests. Let's put it out to the people out there. Guys, do you all know the 6 major marathons of the world? So, Rashid, I believe you already completed 5 of them. You only have 1 left.
Correct. Yeah.
Fantastic. And let's give them a clue. Can you name just a few of them, not all 6 of them? And which marathon is left actually?
Boston, the famous
Okay.
marathon. Yeah.
Okay,
It
so
is, it is the oldest. They say the oldest marathon. Yeah, it started back in 1880 something. It's very old.
It started the same time as the Boston Tea Party.
Yeah, it started at that time in April, typically.
Yeah.
And the plan was to go last year, but I mean, for the condition and the corona that impacted not only the working community but everyone, even the marathon itself. So Boston was shifted virtually, and then later they said, it will be done this year, hopefully, if life is back to normal.
Lovely, fantastic. Yeah. So, can you run us through this goal? I mean, how did you come up with this? It's a Herculean task. It's not an easy task, and I want to correct myself, guys. I thought Rashid ran only 1, but he's ran 5. He's only got 1 left.
Yeah.
So I had to redo my question in the last 5 minutes and say, so what is the process? How was the process, the thought process, the timelines? How did you condition yourself? And how many years did you take it to do this? Because I believe, I mean, I think there was a lady who ran a race when she was a teenager, and she ran her race now when she was in her 60s or 70s. So I believe there's no such thing as a timeline. You can run a marathon at any age. What do you think, Saud? What do you say?
Is it the question for me or for?
No, I mean, I'm just asking you. You can just give us your opinion.
Okay, so I think to be a marathon runner is something very special, and it's not easy thing. Just like what my dear friend Rashed said, to be able to take the first leap of becoming a marathon runner, you need to take it step by step by running 5Ks, and then you develop, and then you be sustainable in that. I believe, to be a marathon runner is like a special traveler, because when you run, you explore places, you get yourself exposed to different cultures and different people, and then another challenges, which another challenges that are different from your original environments. Yani, for example, if you run in marathons in Qatar, I believe Rashid know this, it has a very different kind of preparation other than, let's say, London or maybe Boston. So it's very amazing. And at the same time, it's very challenging because it not only challenge your body or your physical, shape, but at the same time, it challenges your mentality, your psychology, how you're gonna stay there, how you're gonna not to give up while running, and how to overcome the conditions, whatever happened with you. You know what I say? I think it's challenging, and really anyone who's gonna take the chance for himself to get involved in this sport, you need to think seriously, like Rashid.
True. I'm going to go back to
Yeah.
Rashid. Saud, you need to write a book. You can you have that. You have you're like a guru. You're like a guru, a sports guru. Yeah. So Rashid, can you run us through the process of how you went through the 5 marathons already?
Yeah, so just building on what Saud mentioned. So for me, what is he mentioned that already in the volleyball, but in even running or in any sport, we are not kind of being biased about volleyball or running, but about sport in general. There's always this beautiful community. For me, when I see someone just crossing the finish line, regardless of the time, whether it's competitive or not, but if it is personal best for he or she, making that a personal best, I feel them. I know what does it take for them, the amount of time, the effort, and the society itself. When we run, we cheer each other. We know the struggle that we've been through. For the 6 major marathon, it's funny actually how it started. I started, as I mentioned, with Uridu Marathon back in 2017, and my goal was to run the marathon in sub 4 hours at the beginning. I ran just about it. I ran like 4 hours 6 minutes, and then I said, I'll just find another marathon and I'll try to beat that time. So what happened? One of my Turkish friend the other day, he went for breakfast. Asked our friends, "Where is Rashed?" Rashed is running. Why he's running? Well, he's a runner. He's running. Then he told me, "Brother, come to Turkey. We have a famous marathon there." I said, "No. I'm not prepared." And then he told me, "This is the only marathon in the entire world where you run between the 2 continents. You start at the Asian part and you finish at Europe." I said, "Well, I want to do that. Let's do that." So what happened the day before the marathon? You need to go what is known as the expo. So you pick up your number. If you want to buy, shoes, socks, t-shirt, any sports stuff before the marathon, you can get it from there. And while I was just walking around, I saw like a medal. It just attracts you. You say, okay, that is a beautiful medal. I want to see which race is that. Then I
Oh,
went and then I asked, what is this race? They said, no. These are 6 different marathons. You need to run all of them, and then you can get this as a trophy. I said, well, who runs that? I just want to know who runs that. Then they showed me what is known as the fame wall, and it shows you like a list of countries and who run from that country. And that guy just showed me, in the phone. He said, okay, just go to the marathon majors, stars, then you go to the fame wall, put the country, and then shows you. I put Qatar. I found no one. I say, okay, that is my goal. I need to run. I need to run these 6 marathons, and then I need to reflect my name there. So
fantastic.
these 6 marathons, since you ask about them, they are London, Berlin, New York, Chicago, Tokyo, and Boston. These
Wow.
are the big majors.
Then do you remember when you ran them? Can you tell us? Can you give us I mean, I'd love to know more. More. We'd
Yeah.
love to
So
know more.
I started the first one in 2018, and I ran for a cancer society. We will come back to that later.
Yes. Yes.
I started the London Marathon as the first one. Then I moved to Berlin. Then I did the New York. All of them in 2018
You did 3 marathons in 1 year?
in 1 year. Yeah.
Wow.
And
What are you
and
made of
and
steel? What are you
yeah.
what are you made
So,
of? Steel?
no. So London was in April, Berlin was in September, and New York was in November. But then,
Okay.
this is the process when you learn. They said like for marathons you are supposed to do 2 every year, but you
Mm.
learn the hard way. In 2019, I did Tokyo and Chicago. Chicago was my last one I did, and then last year I was supposed to do Boston, but unfortunately, because of COVID, this dream being postponed, inshallah, to this year by,
Okay.
I don't know. They still didn't announce the date.
Okay.
So if it happens that I finish this one again.
Will you get your
So
will
far,
you get
nobody from DC or Qatar have done it. So that will be a personal achievement. And for me, I just want to write my country history. I mean,
yeah.
I am not elite, not a professional, but just a normal guy. Want to do
That's
something
nice.
for the
Rashid, so well said. It'll be really nice if they have the Boston race this year because 2 things, actually more than 2 things. This year is a year of culture of USA and Qatar. And I don't want to tell you who's sponsoring that program,
I know.
but yeah,
I know.
but
Yeah, yeah.
but
I'm working that. I'm working that.
it should be good if you guys, if you could run the Boston Marathon this year. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what happened to Saud, but he's left the conversation, but he will be back. This happens sometimes. That's fine. So, how was it? How was it running these 5 races? And you will be the first guy to. I mean, you have only one more race to complete. Is this the first? Are you the first Qatari or the first person in the GCC to complete these 5 races, 6 races?
Actually, if I do Boston, I'll be the first one. Actually, during that race, depends who will cross the finish line first.
First, okay. Oh,
Okay.
who else is there in the fray?
So there is 2 from Kuwait.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we will see. I mean, at the end of the day, my goal was, I mean, as a human being, we always strive to be, taking just high
Yeah,
goals.
true.
But for me, I am good to go with, the first one in Qatar. And
That's fantastic.
what I'm really happy about, there are a couple of guys, been inspired, but by what I am doing, and they start, applying for these races. So it's good to see, people being touched
That's
and
nice.
inspired by this goal.
That's nice. That's lovely. Rashid, what I like about another thing I want to talk to you about is you're an ambassador of the Qatar Cancer Society. Please
Yeah,
deliberate on that. It's such a fantastic initiative to be an ambassador. And while
yeah.
you're at it, I'm going to just check where Rashid, where our friend is.
Saudi. Yeah.
So
So for those who doesn't know about the major marathons, it is so competitive to be in these marathons. However, if you are the only one who's applying from a country, typically for marketing purposes, they said, okay, let's take this guy or this girl from the country. It's just for their marketing purposes to know how many nations participated. And it seems to be I am the only one who was running these marathons. So every time I apply, it just comes back with a positive, that okay, you are sorry, a positive reply. Just to be clear, a positive reply that I am selected to be in the marathon. The only marathon that was really competitive, I applied it 3 times and there was no positive response. It was Tokyo. For Tokyo, the applicant, the year when I applied, was 330,000 who wanted to run the marathon. Yes, 330,000, and they only select 30,000.
Oh my
For me,
God.
that was it is even harder than Harvard, acceptance rate. So for me, it was really something I'm proud of. And these major marathons, again, you are talking about a field of runners who are going to run 42K. The number of the field size started from 35,000 all the way to 55,000 runners doing the
Okay.
same race at the same time. For London, they told me, okay, if you want to run, there is a cancer society you can run for. You can represent that cancer society. And what I did, I said, okay, we have a cancer society here. Why not just reaching out to them, telling them that I'm going to run the marathon?
Yeah.
And, again, we do sport. Saud, he mentioned it. It is a lifestyle. And according to a study back in 2016 or 17, if I recall, one of the reason, for let's say the heart diseases, for the cancer, is the lifestyle that
True.
we generally have. The
Yeah.
food, the lifestyle, not moving, and the sports day is just for me. This is kind of, let's say, the New Year Eve. Everyone is celebrating that day. It is the big day for us. It's like our Eid. Everyone is celebrating sports day. We
Yeah.
really,
Yeah. Exactly.
enjoying it.
It's
So
fantastic.
Qatar Cancer Society said, we like the idea. You are going to run, represent us. Why not? And when I came back, they called me. Okay, the chairman want to congratulate you. And at the same day, they said, okay, we are choosing you as an ambassador for Qatar Cancer Society. And then that was a really good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I have two questions I didn't take from the public. One is
Okay.
maybe a long lost cousin of yours. He's a good friend of mine. His
Yeah.
name is Ahmed Al Hajri. And he has a question. I think Saud should answer this, or you both can answer it. There's an intersection between, is there an intersection between sport and art? Can the sport itself be integrated with art? I would like Saud to answer that. And Rashid can do that.
Okay.
There's a question for Rashid too.
Okay. So, yeah, there is a big and huge intersection between sports and art. Now, if we're gonna talk about art in general, art is not just the idea of holding a pen and then drawing, or a pencil and then drawing, or maybe some watercolors and just painting. Art is way much bigger than this. Art is related to media. Art is related to acting and the theater itself. Art could be something related to painting. Art could be something, related to dialogues and conversations. Because after all, people, can have dialogues and conversations in different shapes. Nowadays, we have the social media platforms, and at the same time, we are doing this. Now we are having this big meetup, and we're using the new advanced technology to be live for the whole world to see this interview talking about sports and all these things. Now, one little beautiful example, if I'm going to talk about art in terms of drawing and painting, and so if you go to the Education City Stadium, the very recent one for the
Yeah.
World Cup Qatar 2022,
Yes.
there was a Qatari artist. I forgot her name.
Mubarak.
I think she's from Al Marri. Okay.
Oh,
And she was the one who got inspired to have that kind of shape for the education city, for the education stadium. for the World Cup. So, for that thing, this is a huge intersection between sports and art. Take another example for other stadiums. Yani, for example, Lusail, Al Khor Stadium. Now it's called Al Bayt Stadium.
Okay.
That's how people merge and have that kind of intersection between sports and art. This is something that I believe in. Yes.
Yeah, even the Iraqi artist Ahmad Al-Bahrani, he's done some fantastic work outside the Losail stadium for handball. I think it was handball, the World Handball Cup in 2015. He's got some lovely major hands done there. So that is, I would say, also integrating sport. Thank you, Saud, for that answer. Very nice. Fahad Ali has a question for Rashid. I think it's to do with the. It's not like a ticket or anyone can buy, or they choose specific people based on what. I think this is for the marathon. The marathon he's talking about, taking part in.
Yeah. So just I'll get back to this question. The question from Ahmed is an excellent question.
Yeah.
Art is integrated everywhere. And
Sorry, but Rashid Ahmed is the guy I was talking to you about. If you knew him, he's a phenomenal. He's a young Al-Hajri like you, and he's a phenomenal artist. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah. I'll meet him virtually. I mean, believe it or not, thanks to you. Saud mentioned that already. I only know Saud virtually.
Yeah.
And the only time actually I knew about him during the Club World Cup that happened back in 2019.
Yeah.
I saw this guy. Okay, he's a speaker, a presenter. And then I just said, okay, let's just follow this guy. It was really a proud moment to see him. And one of young Qataris being on field at such a big event.
Thank you.
I'm going to go there. And this is all about Big B meetups, bringing communities together, bringing Qatari nationals and even expats together. That's what we do here. Yeah.
So I'm sure Ahmed Al-Hajri, I'm going to meet him virtually, and inshallah, once life is back to normal, we will meet face to face. And for his question, actually, I always have big respect for artists. My wife itself, she's an artist, and the way how they look at things is really different. How they link the things, how they find an idea from something that you see. Okay, is it? Then say, okay, it is. And I'm sure when I see the simple thing, the logos of the competition, it comes from the artist. This is the simple thing, for bidding file, you need that logo, and it comes from the artist themselves. For the question from Fahad, so for the marathons, typically they have a window where they say, okay, you need to apply now. So you just put your information. You will not pay, fee for the marathon. You need to wait for like 4 to 5 months because there will be kind of a raffle, And then once you've been selected, you will receive an email, congratulations, you've been selected. This is the link, you need to go and do the payment. So it's like different stages. The system just let everyone applies, and then based on a matrix, they select. So countries is one of them. Then they go for competitive time. Then they go for gender, and then just to make it, accessible and diverse field.
Yeah,
and this is the way how you can get involved in the marathons.
Yeah. Now, a few not technical questions, but semi-technical. What is the best time you've done, and which was your favorite marathon, Rashid? Because now motivating me, I feel like running a marathon, but I think my marathon would be maybe 3 kilometers for start.
We all started from there. Believe me, it's just all what it takes is just one step. You will make it if you put your mind to it. My favorite is Tokyo Marathon. This time I did 3 hours 36 minutes, and the reason is during that time we had what is known as a shutdown at the plant where I'm working, and I only had 2 days a break, so I had to take the risk to travel, do the marathon, come back. And the jet lag, and this is what Saud mentioned actually, spot on. So he said, different marathons is different countries, the time zone, the food. So you need to go and take time to adapt psychologically, and even to the time zone, to the weather. Then you can go for the race.
Yeah.
That race, I flew Thursday night. I arrived in Tokyo Friday afternoon. Went to the expo. I picked up my number. Saturday, I was not feeling good because the jet lag, the food, and then I had to run on Sunday, and it was rainy and windy. And they said, okay, let me just cross the finish line. Let me take the medal, and that's it. Forget about time. Let me make it. And when I went there, it was just the day. Sometimes you don't know. You just do what you do. You trust the training, and then you just go the day, and then you see how you do. And I
Wow.
arrived on Sunday evening Doha, went to work Monday morning as nothing happened. So this was still every time I'm talking about it, it really just feels yesterday. And because I was the only one, nobody knew about it, only my coach, she knew about it, and I was on tears, because I always dreamt to run around the 3:30 time zone,
Okay.
and she told me that you can do it, and she is, by the way, located here in Qatar, and she's an
Can you-
Olympic champion.
Wow. Can you name her? Can we applaud? Can we applaud her here on this platform?
Yeah,
Can we?
yeah, Liz McCalgan, actually, Liz McCalgan.
Kalgan,
Yeah,
congratulations. I'm so
yeah.
impressed. You got a female conditioning coach, and that's Rashid. You're thinking international, fantastic way.
Yeah.
Talking of, I want to keep coming back to Saud because I see the next Mohammad Saudun Al Kuwari in this guy, man. He's
Uh,
going to be he's going to be a big news anchor.
So yeah, tell
So
me.
I want to just quickly go to Saud in case he leaves us again.
I don't know. I have to apologize for this because I don't know what happened with my connection. Even though I have a super Uri the Wi-Fi, but
Ah!
technical problems happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, listen, Saud, I'm very interested to know voiceover artist. Can you show us some tricks here?
Voiceover. Okay. First of all, I have done so many voiceover projects for different places in Qatar specifically, and also internationally. And I don't say, and I never say no to anyone who's proposing or presenting a project for me, because I like to help people all the time. Let it be ministries or departments or maybe institutes or even individuals, because after all, this is a good service for the people. Okay, so to give you a good example, you remind me of the very beautiful days when I was working in FIFA Club World Cup. So I'll be like, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم جميعا من جميع أقطار العالم وبالتحديد هنا في الدوحة العاصمة القطرية حيث تحتضن دولة قطر الحبيبة بطولة كأس العالم للأندية للمرة الأولى في تاريخها. So this was
Wow.
like something
Way back. This is way back.
yeah.
this is the time I said I need to find this guy. I need to follow him. This was the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the great experiences that I had was when I was an announcer in a ITTF table tennis tournament, the platinum one. So I'll be like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ITTF World Tour Platinum Qatar Open. This championship is the very first for Qatar to be hosted in Aspire Academy, where you see all the famous players, all the very 10 top players ranked playing and challenging all together to win and to be competing in this amazing tournament. So
Okay.
this was like a very improvising sort of
I have a request.
segment to say and to talk about in sport events. After all, to be improviser, to be a person who take the lead and improvise to present something, at least you need to do some homeworks, like searching about the athletes, the players, the tournament or the occasion itself, because after all, you might get stuck in the zone of just repeating words. This is
Yeah,
something very, very challenging for the presenter. If he does not do his homework, and research about what is happening in that occasion, you will be stuck in that. Other than that, I think voiceovering and also presenting at the same time is something done by me, at least out of love and passion, and
I have
delivering high quality of information. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a request. Since I'm so jealous of you because you were the presenter for my club team, which is Liverpool Club. So can you do a quick half a second or 5 second thing where you did at the World Club Cup? Because I was there. The whole Qatar Red family were there.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, we flew in my father from India for this tournament because he's a big football fan.
Mhm.
In fact, he is the founder of a field hockey team in Qatar in 1979. He's a sportsman himself. He started a sports team in Qatar in 1979, and we flew him. He's retired now in Bombay in India, but he came in 2019 to see the Club World Cup because he's a big football fan. He's a sportsman. So can you do us a quick Liverpool? Yeah, goal.
Yeah. So the guy who was working with me, his name was Steve, and he was doing the English thing. But right now, I'll do the Arabic. So I was like, at that moment, I was like, سيداتي سادتي دعونا نرحب الآن بالبطل الأوروبي الفريق الإنجليزي ليفربول.
Oh, fantastic! That's awesome, man. That's really cool. This is really lighting the place up. I'm really liking this thing. So you're quite a guy, Saud, and Rashid. You have actually inspired me to think about running a marathon.
Okay.
And I want to thank another friend of mine on this show. He knows both of you all very well. Ahmed Al Shahrani.
Ah,
He's a brother of mine. He's a very close friend of mine, and he's a darling. Yeah. So
okay.
I want to go to Rashid, and I have a few more questions actually, and then we'll wrap it up. Is the Qatar Cancer Society? Yeah. Did we finish with that?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. See, I'm already losing my mind here right now. I need to motivate myself and focus. So, Rashid, what would be your after finishing the six marathons? Because I believe you're going to finish it. If not this year, you're finishing Boston next year. Habibi,
Yep.
what is the next step? What is the next goal?
Retirement. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God, I like that.
No. Actually, I keep the same question. At some point, and actually there was this question: do you think running a marathon or triathlon is an addiction? For me, when you run a marathon, actually, as soon as at the middle of the race, you say, well, I'm doing it, and you say, okay, this is the last one. I'm not going to do it, خلاص, let me just cross the finish line. As soon as you are done, then you say, okay, let me find the next one. You go and you just try to find the next one.
Yeah.
And again, what is really amazing about the marathon or even the triathlon, and again, at some point I was involved in a triathlon where you do swimming, cycling, and running, and founding member of Qatar Triathlon Club, or what is known as QTri.
Oh.
It is first the society itself. People just applauding you regardless of your level. But for me, the marathon, even if I finish the 6 majors, I just want to keep that momentum. Not just for just finishing the race, rather than it helped me through my life, from planning at work, tough conditions. When you run a marathon, it is not about reaching the finish line more than from the time you start crossing the start line, and then how you make sure you are basing yourself correctly until you reach the finish line. And to me, it is like you can hear it now, but you will feel it as soon as you start, whether it is the volleyball, whether it's running or cycling long distance or swimming. When you for me, when I start running, I start looking at people who's faster than me. Then I realize, if I'm running fast at the beginning, I'll start burn myself. And this what happened, when you start comparing yourself at work, why this guy is just going up quickly in the organization. And then you start, saying, okay, let me work hard. And then you feel, disappointed because you are not rewarded the same. And then you say, I'm just quitting the job. You need to base yourself. We need to accept that fact. There are some people talented. They will come and just cross us. There are other people where you will take them, and you need to know your capability. Don't be a fast runner. Don't be slow runner. Just be you. Know your
Okay,
capability. Base yourself. For a marathon, as I mentioned, it is 42K, and you need to study the course. You know that there will be a water station at 5K. Every 5K there will be a water station. At some point, we call it the wall. Literally the wall. When you reach 30K, you feel your legs are stiffed. You cannot move, and this is because your body is running out of carbohydrate. So you need to fuel correctly. And what I tell the guys, this what happens when you are working in a long-term project. You reach that stage where you feel really low, and you say, man, let me drop it. You have that project that you've been working for years, that you want to do it, but it didn't happen, and you say, let me drop it. But trust me, if you just push yourself one step by another, you will reach the finish line. And it is just like very simple example. When you at university or high school, who first not been, like late nights studying, sleepless night, just trying to do their best at the exam. Nobody knew about that. Everyone is just start just applauding you when you graduate, when you make it. And this is the way how I see it. Nobody will know the suffer. You've been through the race. Everyone will start applauding you once you reach the finish line. Don't tell me about the race, because nobody will say, yeah, you didn't study. What I really want to tell you guys, you need
wow.
to plan the race. You need to know your effort. You need to make sure, because at the end of the day, everyone will reach the finish line. Everyone will achieve that goal, will finish the work, will finish the task, will finish the project. Just make sure, you are going in the correct pace. Don't burn out yourself at the beginning. Don't be slow, because then there is cut-off time, we call it at the marathon. 7 hours, you are out. And they call it the deadline. You need to finish within 7 hours. If not, you are out. Similar to the work. If you don't meet the deadline, you are out. Nobody will give you a task. And
True.
this is every time I go through the marathon, I look at different tactics, and then I look at it at the marathon. And last thing, this is what I would say. There is a YouTube or TEDx video about the marathon. Just put TEDx marathon. It's beautiful. A teacher decided at the business fundamental 101 that he would ask all of his students to run a marathon. And he wanted to tell them how a marathon is just like a startup. It is difficult to start, but you need to make sure you have a milestone. You need to have that plan in mind. You need to have that speed work. You need to have that long run. You need to have the study. And then only one seminar every week, they will come together, and what they will talk about their training. And if you want to success that model, you need to finish a marathon before year end. And it's beautiful because the teacher knew about the marathon, and as Saud mentioned, it is not running, it is lifestyle. Even psychologically, it will keep changing you. And
True.
I finish Boston, I'm sure there will be more. I'm
Yeah.
just want to, eyes on the prize, I would say. I want
I
to
don't know.
finish that one, then I'll see what comes
Like,
next.
there's a I'll take it from a lyrics from a rap song. Every finish line is the beginning of a new race. It's from a rap song. Okay. Now, Rashid, you were saying that you want to retire. I know you were joking, but
Yeah.
even if you want to retire, Habibi, you need to come up with a book. You need to write a book. This is
I have Saud. I have Saud. Yeah.
have Saud to write the book. I can help you out too. And if you need a professional photographer, that's me. Yeah, I can do that too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And before we run out, we have a few more minutes left, but I would like to go to Saud and ask him about the volunteerism that he's done with Reach Out to Asia. We have a quick 2-3 minutes on that, and then I want to come back to both of y'all and ask your message of love and peace to our audience, and then we have a wrap, and then I'm going to start going for a run now.
Okay,
Good.
okay, cool. So speaking of volunteering and participating in charity works mainly, during my studies at Qatar University as an electrical engineer, there was a collaboration between Qatar Foundation, Rota, which is Reach Out to Asia, and also Qatar University. They take students from different colleges to the Asian countries, for example, like Nepal, Indonesia, or Bangladesh. I have gone to Nepal with my mates, and there we did so many so many projects and volunteering works. The main goal was to meet up with Nepalese and see how the life is, and meet up different kind of people who are studying in a one educational center. And the aim was to teach them more and give them courses and workshops related to sports, related to social media platforms, and also related to healthy society environment. When we meet them and when we teach them about sports, how to be disciplined, how to have this thing as a lifestyle. And we were also promoting Qatar as the host of the World Cup 2022. So that thing was kind of like an opening for them to understand what is happening around the world, and for them as Nepalese, with regarding the critical situations for Nepalese. But at the same time, it's not impossible for them. So that was one side. Other side was teaching them about the social media platforms. They have connection, they have data, they have Wi-Fi, but at the same time, they naively use the social media platforms, especially Facebook. But we took it to another level where we teach them to talk about a certain challenge in their community, or maybe a problem to overcome, and how to use the social media platforms to promote their opinions. So one of the problems in Nepal was excessive drinking of alcohol, especially among the kids. This is very weird for us as people living in Qatar to see, kids drinking alcohol. But in Nepal, it's very normal and it's very problematic. But for us, we taught them how to use the social media platforms, how to create content on them, to fight for a case. You know what I say? At the same time, also we gave them workshops related to self-discipline and how to develop yourself, how to learn, how to use the sources available for you to reach to reach certain goals for them as persons. Because after all, I found out that Nepalese kind of like feel some boredom because of the situation they live in Nepal. Let it be politically or maybe environmentally and other things. But this project was amazing, and that was the main goal for us as
Saud,
volunteers working in that project. Yeah,
talking of Nepalese, they are a very good. They're a very good people. They're very good people. Even a
exactly.
lot of Nepali people work in India
Mhm.
as guards, as house guards, and there's a certain sect called Gurkha, and
Mhm.
even the British Army have a Gurkha regiment. You know, because
You
in the
know
war,
what was the main challenge for us? What
yeah,
you say is very right, but the main challenge for us was to teach all what I have said for youngers, like for people starting from the age 9 until 14 and 15
yeah,
only, not
yeah,
adults. So that was the challenge. Nepalese are good. I respect that and I know that. But when it
yeah,
comes to, planting such knowledge, planting such courses and workshops and things, and talking to such young people, I believe this is, those are the kids who's going one day going to be the leaders of Nepal. That was
yeah,
the biggest challenge for us. Like, I'm a university student at that time. How am I supposed to communicate with a young boy or a young girl? So we
yeah,
had to think about the way of communication, the style, the words as well. You cannot use a very, like, gigantic professional word when speaking to young people. But you have to lower yourself and to be, with the same level they are. So yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
You know, what I want to say to both Rashid and Saud is, now the generation of young kids is they are on PS4s and social media and internet games. But you are going to be, you are inspiring these young kids and even us to get out there, get in the open and start running, breathing the air, and staying healthy. On that point, I just want to know who inspires y'all, Rashid. What is your inspiration?
For me, it is the running society. I mean, when
Yeah,
I
you're,
mean,
you're a
yeah,
founder of the
sorry.
co-founder. You're a co-founder of the running society.
No. I mean the running society in general. When I see anyone that runs, whether it's at night or in morning, in a park run, or at Corniche, I'm just inspired. Like they could have been slept or do another thing. Why would they just run? Because they found the joy in that. So I'm not going to say it's a one person more than, I mean, yeah, I would say my mom is my inspirational for
Wow,
sure.
lovely. Mashallah.
But when it comes to sport, I would say anyone that runs, just early in the morning, late on the evening. This what I say.
From every Qatari I bought on the show, their mother is their inspiration. I bought Abdullah Al Salat, the artist. His mother is his inspiration. He's an artist. Now, Rashid, his mom. Our mums are really awesome, really, and so are our dads. But mums.
And as you said, this show is for her. Yani, I was
Yes,
touched by it.
my mother, she passed away 23 years ago, 22 years ago. She used to work in Qatar for Ooredoo in 1979, 1980 to 1992. Yeah, she worked for Ooredoo. That time it was cable and wireless, and then it became QTEL, then Qatar Telecom, then Ooredoo, and now it stays Ooredoo, hopefully.
We want discounts.
You want discounts? I have issues with Ooredoo.
The discount before the new rate or after the new rate?
After the new rate, of course.
Oh my God. I want discounts from Kaharama, Habibi, Kaharama. Anyways, yeah. Saud, if you could give me your trilingual, especially your trilingual message of love and peace before we close up, and then I want to get Rashid's message in Arabic and in English or in bilingual. Because Saud, you speak parlez-vous français? You speak a bit of French.
Oui, je parle en français un peu. Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Great.
So the three loving messages, I would say first of all in Arabic طبعا الرسالة التي أوجهها رسالة الحب والسلام وأن تهتموا بعقولكم وبأجسادكم وبأرواحكم فهي التكوين الثلاثي الأهم لكم في هذه الحياة فأنت ناضج بعقلك وأنت سام بروحك وقلبك وأنت قويا بجسدك في هذه الحياة. Speaking in English, I would say it's just going to be a translation for what I have said in Arabic is take care of your mind, take care of your soul and heart, and take care of your body, because these are the triple formation of you as a human being in this life. Take care of yourself, take care of your mind, take care of your soul and heart and your body, because with your mind to be knowledgeable and with your body to be healthier and healthy every day, and with your soul and heart to be loving and respectful toward everyone. In French, I'm just gonna make it very simple. I would say bonsoir et bienvenue, je t'aime à tous. It means good evening, everyone. I love you all.
That's fantastic, man. That's super. Rashid, yalla, that's your turn next.
Yeah, so my first message in Arabic دائما تذكر من وين بديت ولما تقطع الشوط في الإنجازات تذكر من اللي كانوا معاك وأهم شيء كن متواضع مهما وصلت من إنجازات فالتواضع هو مفتاح القلوب للجميع. هذه رسالتي. My message is in Arabic, just translated in English. Just remember from where you started and how far you become. Don't forget those who've been with you initially. Just be humble, because being humble is just the key, to the people's heart. So this is my first message. My second message, like some days it just flows, and I like that I am born to do this, or running, I would say. Other days it just feel I'm going through hell. Every day I make the choice, whether I show up, and see what I've got, and try to be better. My advice: keep showing up, and just try to be your best. My last message: thanks everyone, and happy Sports National Day. Start now. Don't wait for the Sports National Day. Start now, because tomorrow's decision you can decide it from now. This is my message. And
Okay,
thank you.
guys, I want to give you all both a virtual hug. You all are just amazing. People keep talking about you guys. They just love you all. I would love to get you guys again on the show after you finish your marathon. And Saud, you
Yeah,
too.
Bosco, just a little thing quickly. There was a person, I think her or his name is Chitint Valapil Faisal. Mr. Saud, one of Filipino volleyball team needs support. Could
Yeah.
you support for them? I've called, just outreach me, DM me on Facebook, and we will be in touch.
It's
That's
so
it.
sweet of you. I saw that question and I didn't want to put it up because I'm not, I mean, this is not a donation program, you know what I mean? But I'm so happy that you said that you're a big hearted person. I will ask the person to connect with you. That's so nice of you. Alhamdulillah. God bless you guys. And thank you so much, the audience. And thank you, Rashid and Saud. And let me go and put my running shoes on because I need to start running like Forrest Gump.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
You guys, and have a lovely evening.